After being cheated on for the third time, I have given up on my marriage. My wife of 7 years cheated on me for 6 months, and based on the evidence I was able to find, it also would seem to be a romantic affair. She has denied that it was romantic but can't explain the thousands of "I love you" texts that they exchanged over 6 months, apart from the "he wouldn't talk to me if I didn't say it." Also, I have actually been cheated on in 3 of my past relationships. What a record to have. But this last one was what really broke me. This woman knew about my past bad experiences with cheating partners, and she had been cheated on previously too. It was a traumatic life event in both of our lives. And what's more, she chose to engage in this crooked dominant submissive relationship with the man she had the affair with, in a dynamic that focused on humiliating me and our marriage and setting him up as the macho who dominates her. And my wife, who always insisted that I not kiss her in public and that I should not ask her to give me BJ because it embarrasses her, apparently loved it when this man dominated her sexually. I know the word that is used to describe people like me, cuck, and trust me, I thought the same of myself. I thought and actually hoped I would turn out to be a cuckold husband because it would make it so much easier to cope with. Unfortunately, when I read their messages and imagined her having sex with another man, I was far from getting aroused, and I in fact threw up on the bedroom carpet. If I had really turned out to be someone who enjoys my wife being used by other men, it would have made things a lot easier than they are now. Unfortunately, it's not that way. My fate is far worse. She is the main provider of the house because I left my job 2 years ago to pursue a doctorate degree. She actually convinced and encouraged me to pursue my dreams and passion instead of settling for a job that I hate, and like the idiot that I am, I believed her. I should have known better that people do not respect those who are not their equal. She denies that it has anything to do with her affair, of course. Now, because I had no job, I had no savings, hence, I had no way of leaving this marriage unless I dropped my degree and started working again. So I told myself that I would leave once I got my degree and finally found work again. Except I don't even have that excuse anymore. My degree certificate was delivered to me 2 weeks ago. I have come to the conclusion that I am the weakest, most pathetic man on earth because I don't want to leave. My wife pretends to regret what she did. She admitted to her affair and showed me all her texts with him, as if it were a thing of pride. I don't know if she truly regrets it or not. I don't know why she admitted to her affair, but the more I found out about the nature of her affair, the more I felt ridiculed by her, like she was mocking me by pretending to regret it, like she was laughing at me behind my back. Maybe it was just how I perceived it, or maybe it is the truth. Whatever it is, I find myself still clinging to some faint hope somewhere that she is truly regretful and wants to make it better, and it will eventually go back to how it was before. I know what you're thinking, that I'm a fool, that I'm a naive man, and you're all right. But it almost feels out of my control. I feel paralyzed, like I cannot leave even if I want to. This is my hell, and this is where I belong. The details of my wife's affair are morbid and will probably set off the NSFW filters, so I will not go too deep into them. But there is one event that stands out. My wife apparently wanted to have raw sex with him and begged him every time they had sex to remove the condom. But he asked her to remain a good girl, and maybe someday she'll receive his reward. So one day, when she asked him to remove it, he told her that he would do it raw only if she took off her wedding ring and soaked it inside the condom that he ejaculated in. From what I could gather from their messages, she did not display a single moment of hesitation. Furthermore, after they were done, he told her to never wash that ring because he wanted his scent to remain on it so she could smell it and remind herself who she really belonged to. To which she replied, "Yes, master." That was the level of disrespect and humiliation that she showed towards me during her affair. And I think she kept her promise to him to this day, because her entire body smells nauseating to me now. I make my own food now because whenever I try to eat something touched by her, I throw up. Her face, her neck, her waist, everything I see when I look at her, every part of her, is tainted and soiled because every part of her reminds me of something he did with her. She cries a lot. A lot. Every day, more than me. It almost seems like she's not putting on an act sometimes. She told me I could track her location if I wanted to, but what's the use? She can meet up with him in her office if she really wants to. She probably already is. I almost feel at peace accepting that. She feeds me a whole lot of bullshit about her affair, saying that she did not actually enjoy the affair sex and that she loves having sex with me more. I just want to sew up her mouth when she says such blatant lies. Does she not know that I've seen how she speaks to her affair partner? How much desire, how much lust, how deranged she became with him. I never even got a shred of what she gave him, and I'm the one she enjoyed more. She thinks I'm a fool, but not anymore. I keep telling her that she should go and live her life with that man. If you chose him over me on so many occasions, maybe he's the man for you. She swears left and right, she does not want him, she only wants me, and to me, it doesn't make any sense. From their messages, it really seemed like she cared for him in a way she never did for me. Timely good morning and good night messages, tons of compliments, and, of course, she did everything he asked her to, like he would always tell her what to wear and she would listen to him. She gets really defensive when I suggest that she loves him. She goes on this charade about how he never made her feel whatever I made her feel and she was chasing a high, and that she made wrong choices. Of course, she will be crying and groveling all the time. I wish she would stop doing that, at the very least. If you feel anxious, please call me, she says when she leaves for work, but I don't anymore. She can do what she wants, she probably already is anyway. I have come to this radical acceptance of my truth. The shadow of infidelity will follow me wherever I go, so I just need to accept that I'm not deserving of fidelity. I am a boring man, I have no particularly attractive traits, and I have no desire to be a macho man for any woman. She denies all of it again and says she likes me just as I am, but we all know better. My hope in staying in this marriage is that she eventually listens to me and stops trying to convince me to revive this marriage, so I too can give up hope on it once and for all. I just want to live and enjoy other aspects of life other than love and marriage. Sorry if this text is all over the place. I don't really mind whatever comments I receive. I'm just glad for this chance to be able to scream into the void. Now for the top advice. You're caught up in a terrible situation, so take a deep breath. First, collect all evidence of the affair. Then, contact a lawyer. I'm sure if you go to the legal forums, someone might be able to recommend some pro bono lawyers in your area. Ask them what to do next. Since you haven't worked in a couple years, maybe you can get alimony, especially with proof of the affair. Start getting your life together, get a proper support system set up for you, and tell people in your life before she starts controlling the narrative and making you the bad guy. Separate bank accounts and money. Ask your lawyer if you can find a job now or if you should wait after the divorce. I think it depends on how much you can get in alimony. Also, shop around for therapists. You really need it not only for this but also to find out if you have a certain type of woman you're attracted to who ends up cheating and why. Delve deeper and undo all that, and then you can put yourself on the market again. Remove yourself from her and start putting your life together. Don't listen to her, just use the grey rock method with her. She's lying through and through. It's time to take your life into your own hands. It should no longer be at her mercy. Thank you for the comment. I already have all the evidence, she handed them to me herself, remember. I don't have any interest in alimony, I would feel humiliated to be financially dependent on someone whose entire thing was to make me feel inferior. She is terrified of divorce for some reason. She starts hyperventilating, she literally begged at my feet once. What is grey rock? Never heard of it. Grey rocking is a technique used to divert a toxic person's behavior by acting as unresponsive as possible when you're interacting with them. For example, using the grey rock method involves deliberate actions like avoiding eye contact or not showing emotions during a conversation. I think she is terrified of divorce, as it will severely taint her image due to the possibility of all her disgusting actions coming to light. Sounds like I am already grey rocking her then. I barely even acknowledge her presence anymore when she tries to speak to me. She's already told a lot of people. Her friends, some co-workers, her 2 sisters, all of them know now. Am I the only one who finds it hard to believe that her friend circle knew nothing about the affair? She told me she wanted to keep herself accountable to me, but it just feels like she was rubbing it in my face by telling everyone without even asking me. I'm sorry about all of this. Reading what you wrote is heartbreaking. You deserve to be loved, heard, understood, embraced, cared for, and respected. Please don't believe what these cruel people did to you. None of this has anything to do with you. Unfortunately, you were only lucky enough to cross paths with people who abused your kindness. Please get therapy. You're stuck in this situation not because you're weak, but because you're traumatized and scared. Talk to friends, ask for help, look for a lawyer, and focus on yourself. There is a way out, you can get out of this situation. You deserve to be happy. Now for the first update. I need advice. I need proper strategies and guidance. Before the cheating happened, I made the most stupid decision of my life by gifting to my wife and making her the sole owner of all my ancestral property that I fought my entire life to get back. Now I cannot divorce without giving her at least half of it. This land is everything to me. I would rather give my life than give it up, especially not with a disgusting cheater right next door for the rest of my life, and she knows it. I am already contacting a lawyer and preparing paperwork, and she has told me that she will return all my land to me without question if I promise to stay with her, and try to work it out while the legal work is being done and processed. And the process is lengthy, it can take anywhere from 3 weeks to 6 months. She says she'll sign as soon as everything is ready, but from my lawyer, I got to know that all this while, if she makes even a little complaint that I am coercing or forcing her to sign, I might lose out on all of my property forever. I do think she is way too smart, and there's no way in hell she's going to just give away almost $1 million worth of property in her name to me. She will play dirty and do something to trap me. At this point, I'm just playing all my cards and seeing what sticks. My wife has asked to try for a few months at least, and I can't say no to her. So I'm stuck with her in this house. She goes to her therapist every day and spends hours upon hours there doing only God knows what. She told me that she would change herself completely and become a better human being. She keeps trying to convince me to install some family safety app that I can use to track her location, even though I've told her a million times I don't need that. She feeds me weird narratives about her cheating, like she cheated because of some sexual trauma or whatever, that I don't understand the logic of, and that she never told me about in the 15 years of us being together. But I can't really say anything to her as of now, so I don't comment much on that. Just let her do her thing until the paperwork is done, and then we'll see. I hate being around her. I hate being in the same room with her. The fact that I am breathing in the same air as her makes me nauseous. I want nothing more than to run away from this godforsaken existence. I already sleep in a different room, and I've already changed most of my furniture and household items, and sold the old ones, if I could. Even going out in public alone makes me feel embarrassed, as if everyone knows about it and is laughing behind my back. Eating food made by her made me vomit midway, so I was eating at restaurants. Yesterday I just bought a new induction cooktop and told her I'd cook my own food from now on, and she cried so much I could swear she would have died. I hate having to deal with her bullshit crying and apologies, and these obvious attempts to make me feel sorry and pity towards her. What can I do to find some peace in this situation? I try to be out of that house as much as I can with different excuses, like going for job interviews or meeting with friends. I doubt there is anyone as unfortunate and stupid as me to be stuck in a situation like this. But I bet there are people who have been forced and manipulated to reconcile with their cheaters. How can I cope with these feelings of worthlessness, emasculation, and embarrassment while also simultaneously dealing with and having to face someone whose very sight makes me sick? And now for the top advice. Get lawyers. Get post-nuptial agreement that you will get the land back. Don't be fucking stupid next time and sign away your family's land to non-family. She betrayed you in the worst way, so the gloves are off as far as I'm concerned. In other words, you're free to lie your ass off and do what you need to do to protect yourself. So tell her you promise to reconcile. Do anything you need to do to get her to sign those papers, short of having sex with her, baby traps and STDs, or legal paperwork that isn't about her signing over this property. Delay everything as much as possible. Set up a meeting with a marriage counselor, go once, and then decide they are not right for you and find a new one. Tell her you need time to process things. Be gone a lot. Tell her you need to focus on work right now and that you found a men's support group focused on reconciliation. That you found a gym as a way to help you work through this and get stronger. She'll love that one. In fact, that will help with the eating as well. Babe, I'm just having protein shakes for dinner for the next few weeks or months. And then just try not to be dramatic. Tell yourself that you're just playing a role because you are, just like she was when she was cheating on you and just like she is now. You're just two actors on a stage making pretense, and it will give you time to sort out lawyers and a place for you or her to go, etc. As soon as she signs those papers, you execute phase 2, the dumping. She signs, you thank her, file those papers away, and then you are gone like the freaking wind. Feel free to unleash hell on your way out that door and be as dramatic as you want to be. But until then, you're a Zen monk. If you feel yourself becoming triggered, just shut your mouth and tell her you need a moment to pull yourself together. Go hit the gym, go take a walk, go meditate, read a book, watch a movie, whatever works for you. Just to add, when she signs the papers, take them to a lawyer before you dump. Make sure it's rock solid first. You spent your entire life fighting for this land. So what's a few more months to suck it up and play nice with your wife? I'm not at all suggesting you reconcile. What I am suggesting is that you do whatever needs to be done to make sure your wife signs the land back over to you, and it will remain yours. If that means pretending to reconcile with your wife, then so be it. Because that is really your only option here. You've already made one incredibly bad decision by gifting a piece of property to her that was apparently quite important to you. Don't make another stupid decision by letting your ego get in the way of getting that land back. Yeah. Planning on doing that, but I don't even know if I can do this. Every day in this house is so emotionally taxing that I can't even begin to describe it. These 6 months, in the worst case, are going to be a nightmare. Just wanted to talk to someone who's done this make pretense reconciliation with their cheaters and managed to get what they wanted because it just seems like an impossible task. I feel so alone right now. Listen to me, OP. Go to the gym. You said that you do everything possible to be out of the house with friends or in supposedly fake job interviews. If you want to spend your time doing something good, go to the gym. Many people underestimate it, but it is the best thing to do. Someone can do it, you will feel more alive, stronger, and faster, your self-esteem will improve a lot, you will feel like a superhero. And best of all, there are a couple of hours every single day that you will not see your unfaithful wife. Give it a try, OP. I know it will make you feel better. And now for the final update. This happened 3 days ago. She came back from her therapy session and was acting fishy the entire evening. Actually, the weird behavior started around a week ago, but that day it was more noticeable. Usually, she will be all over me, asking me how my day was, if I wanted to talk about anything, being touchy for no reason, and asking what she should make for dinner, even though I don't even consume food cooked by her anymore. That day, there was none of it. She was distant, and I saw she was glancing at me from the side of her eyes but looked away when she saw me. I couldn't bring myself to care enough about it, so I just ignored and forgot about it. At night when I was in my room, we sleep separately, she entered and said there was something she wanted to talk about and if I wanted to talk. She said she's been thinking about it a lot and said that she now realizes that she was using her ownership of my property as leverage to force me to reconcile and that it was essentially blackmail. She apologized over and over and told me that she was ashamed that it took her so long to realize how I must have felt and that she didn't do it knowingly and that it was never her intention to rob me of my land, but she also understood that to me it would look that way. She said that we don't need to reconcile anymore if I don't want to, and that she'll leave the decision on whether we try to reconcile or not completely to me. She also said she already knew exactly what I wanted, but she didn't want to assume what I wanted, so she wanted me to make the call. In case I don't want to continue reconciliation, she offered to move out of the house and be no contact unless absolutely necessary. I have not answered her yet, and I'm not sure I want to take her up on the offer. I don't trust her. What if this is a test? What if she wants to see if I truly want to reconcile or not? I'm thinking of saying no and continuing with the fake reconciliation until the papers are done. I don't want to take any risks. Good thing is, she has mostly left me alone, and I don't think she's left her room for anything other than cooking and going to the washroom. She also didn't cry when all this happened, which is an improvement. She also looks like a lifeless zombie, and it's apparent she hasn't been sleeping well. I guess she's really scared of me leaving. I recently visited the property to accompany a legal team that took measurements of the land. She was there also. Seems it will be done sooner than I was expecting. 2 months from now is likely. I actually have more or less decided that I'm not going to take her up on the offer because I know this woman the most, and I'm pretty sure this is a trap, and even if it isn't and she's genuine about it, I don't want to take the risk. My attorney has also advised the same, though he did say that I might lose all my hair before I gain my land. So there goes my update. I hope this all goes well and I don't come back crying to this sub after 2 months. I can't expect too much out of this wretched life. Now for the top comments. Based on your previous posts, please do not attempt to reconcile. This wife acted out most men's worst nightmares. Does she have any idea why she entered into this type of cheating relationship? Can she explain the humiliation the AP wanted to inflict on you? I would be very wary of this. Please be safe. Resolve the situation with the land and move forward. She said she was sick and wanted to feel miserable and blamed AP, saying he manipulated her. She mentioned the dominant-submissive relationship briefly when she made her confession. I only found out completely what was going on when I read the messages. She still denies that she got any pleasure out of it. She actually cried and asked if I didn't know what she liked and didn't like after being with her for 7 years. She claims she only went along because AP was into it. The comments keep mentioning the wedding ring incident, but that is only one of the countless other things that I found they did in the messages. She vehemently denies any of those ever happened, even though the messages clearly say otherwise. She said it was sex chatting and playing along with his fantasies, and they did not actually do it in real life, they only fantasized in chat. But it doesn't feel like that at all when I read the messages. I don't believe her in the slightest. She vehemently denies any of those ever happened, even though the messages clearly say otherwise. She said it was sex chatting and playing along with his fantasies, and they did not actually do it in real life, they only fantasized in chat. I will say I've done some plays, chatting, like this with others, and they are very into it, and they actually get aroused at how much they hate themselves for being so willing to do it. However, anyone eager to do it in a chat might have done something in real life. I'll give an example if you want, but it might be trauma-causing, so yeah, don't believe everything stayed in chats. She actually cried and asked if I didn't know what she liked and didn't like after being with her for 7 years. She claims she only went along because AP was into it. Tell her, if she hated what he did, why did she only do it with him? Why did you have to love and honor her, and he got more out of her sexually and enthusiastically? I had to go over your post detailing her affair, and I wish I had not. Of all the cheating women that I've come across both on Reddit and in real life, I honestly think your wife ranks as one of the worst if not the worst. She is a textbook sociopath, OP, and a sadist as well. Her affair went beyond the pale of anything I have ever seen, and it seems as though it was designed to inflict maximum pain on you. Your wife feels no remorse and is a pathological liar. Her words and tears are both fake and part of a ploy to steal your land, as you suspect, and humiliate you one final time. Play along, OP, and do whatever you need to do to get your assets back from her, and then go scorched earth on this monster and destroy her completely. Do not show even an ounce of kindness to her. I think this woman had an idea of who she was. This AP came along and did things to her she didn't know she liked, but she did. She loved them, but they involved demeaning herself and especially OP, and she is going to have a hard time coming to terms with the person she thought she was as opposed to the person she was in her affair. She seems to have had zero respect for OP. The humiliation is just over the top. I was going to reread the other post, but it's too damn painful. I don't think I could ever trust anything she says ever again. OP seems to feel the same way. Also, OP, having been cheated on in many other relationships, I think your picker is broken. You keep choosing the same type of person. Have you thought about what all the cheaters had in common? Maybe there are subconscious things you are picking up on. Therapy can help you figure out what you are doing wrong. You're not a boring man. You have value. It's unfortunate if she is telling the truth because she has destroyed your trust so much that there is no room for any benefit of the doubt. It's a shame. And she may or may not realize it, that the trust has been destroyed this much and how fragile it really is. Oh well, that's her problem, not yours. It's prudent and in your best interest to treat her as if she is lying. You've got to look out for yourself and do what you can to come out of this with as little damage as possible. It may never have been her intention to blackmail you. She may also not buy that you are fully on board with reconciliation, and this is a trap. She will probably know you are lying if you tell her you want reconciliation. Let her know reconciliation is a difficult decision still for you and that you don't think you can honestly make that decision with the fate of your family estate hanging over your head. Tell her you appreciate her current stance and consider it a positive step towards the possibility of reconciliation in the future. Let her know that right now you still need space to process everything and would like to defer any final decision on reconciliation until after the legal issues with the property are solved. Hell nah, man. What if my hesitation makes her give up on reconciling and she just runs away with my property? I'm sure I can keep this act up well enough. I don't want to take any risks after having come so far. Go for it, bro. Do what you got to do. Now bro, play it out, get the land signed over to you, and then kick her ass out. Join therapy sessions and post-nuptial. It might be worth seeing if she's actually making strides in therapy. Then again, I'm a sucker for reconciliation where hope seems like it might actually exist. So even if you go the route of divorce, it's clear that you don't have to give up a thing. However, getting a post-nuptial in the scheme of keeping your land might strike you as a good idea. Don't do that if it's the case. The last thing you want added to all that you're going through is the guilt of being deceptive. We're all here for you, man, and I think what you're doing sounds like the best plan of action too. Keep it up and play it safe, OP. She has proven without any doubt to be worthless of any trust and that she doesn't respect you nor your marriage. Don't let her guilt trap you, be cold, don't trust her, and play it safe. Godspeed. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to today's story. If you enjoyed listening, please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, comment below with your thoughts on what you think. Take care.